So this is the last video today. As I have got a spare IPU assembly, I thought, well, I'll try and hack down the HCH2 DC-DC converter to see if I can fit it into the OEM space. So that's the OEM space there where the standard DC to DC just drops in. As we know, that's only good for 150 volts. So this is the HCH2, and I've chopped some lugs off it. And the main thing I've done is I've removed a few of the fins there so that it matches the fins on the bottom of the OEM DC to DC. And basically I've just had Dremel and power file work to just try and make it fit in. So it goes in this way and the fins are that way. So if I just pop it in here, just bear with me. And there we are. We can see it fits in there. It hangs over this side slightly. Now I have trimmed a bit off here. I can also trim this off here if I want to make that flat there. I think it will go in the IPU without fouling. I'll put some insulation on here. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to bring the HV round from here, round here and into the DC to DC. It's got a separate, comes in a separate side. Although I might have a look at inside and see if I can actually take it in through rather than coming around the outside. I'll need to put an earth here from here to here because this doesn't actually bolt to the assembly. It's held in there, and I'll show you how it's held in a minute. That it's obviously got foam strips around to seal it, and it's pressed down into that, and it doesn't move at all, and it's a really good fit actually. So I'll need a ground from here to this lug here, and this is the 12 volt output here. And I'll need to do something with the little connector plug here and bring that round to this side here and put it in there. So I'll just need to extend that and find a connector or bring some wires out of this. So that's that. But then of course what we have is we have the motor control module, and that just sits on top, and that actually goes in the OEM space and bolts down correctly, and that'll actually hold it in place actually once it's in, because it does actually fit in correctly there. And it's exactly the same place as the OEM. You could put some foam underneath here, and then once that's bolted in, that's also going to be pressing the DC to DC down into its mounting hole. So that actually does fit. So it looks like I can get an HCH2 DC to DC into the CRZ OEM space, and that should work, and hopefully allow me to push the voltage up to the levels that we want to try and achieve. So there it is. That's in exact position now. As I say, this bolts down in the normal OEM places, so that's in exactly the same space. I'll just need to wire this up and work on it from there. So that's where we are at the moment, trying to shoehorn the HCH2 220 volt DC to DC into the CRZ so that we can crank the voltage up even further.